Hello, beautiful people of God. Welcome to another episode of the Love Zone. I know that each and every one of you is doing very well. Keep on winning. Keep on winning. Today, I want to share with you something real quick. In the book of Ephesians, something that Paul the Apostle shared with the people of Ephesus. He said that be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Then he goes on to say, put on the whole armor of God, by which you will be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. He didn't say be strong in yourself. He didn't say be strong in your financial position. He didn't say be strong in anything else. He says be strong in the Lord. Put your strength in God. Trust in God. Look up to the hills from whence cometh your help, not into yourself. You see, the reason why it is very important to be strong in the Lord is that we are in contention. We are in a wrestling. We are in a fight of faith with the devil, with the enemy. And so you need to be strong in the Lord, because the enemy is a spirit, and if you are going to go against him physically, you are going to be defeated. Whenever you are strong in your human strength, you put a limitation on yourself. You put a limitation on what God can do in your life. So you should be strong in God. You should come to that point of realization that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And when you come to that point, it means you are putting your strength in God. When your strength is in God, there is nothing that you cannot do. When your strength is in God, you become unlimited. When your strength is in God, nothing can hold you back. You should come to the point where you know that you are not sufficient of yourself to think anything as in yourself, but your sufficiency is of God. Your trust is in God. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. His might. When you come to this level, brother, sister, you cannot be defeated. Nobody can bring you down, because as they try to fight you with their human strength, as they try to fight you with the forces of darkness, you are operating in a higher power. You are operating in higher strength. You need to come to the point where you know that your strength ultimately comes from God. Your power ultimately comes from God. And that is when you are able to tread upon the serpents and upon the scorpions and upon all the powers of the enemy. Be strong in the Lord, not in yourself. When you are strong in yourself, you have excuses. But when you are strong in God, you have no excuse. When you are strong in God, you are unlimited. When you are strong in God, you have all the powers that the universe could ever offer. He says, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Then he goes on to say, put on the whole armor of God, the whole armor of God, by which you will be able to withstand, to be able to stand against the wiles of the enemy, against the tricks of the enemy, the schemes of the devil, by which you'll be able to stand against the attacks of the enemy. Put on the whole armor of God. And I love this, because he didn't say that we should put on some of the armor of God. Hello, Mary. God richly bless you for connecting. Please go ahead, share this message with somebody. He says, put on the whole armor of God, that you'll be able to withstand. He didn't say some of the armor. He didn't say 70% of the armor. He didn't say 20% of the armor. He says the whole armor. Unfortunately, we have believers today who have on 50% of the armor, who have on some of the armor of God. But it should be the whole armor of God, because when you have only 50% of the armor, you are living in a delusion, and that is exactly where the devil wants you. The devil wants people in a state of delusion where they think that they can get by with just a prayer life. Yes, it is good to pray, but if all you do is pray, then believer, I want you to know that you are naked. You are in a dangerous place. He says whole armor, not some of the armor. So you have some Christians who all they do is pray. There are Christians who all they do is to live holy. There are Christians who all they do is to go to church. Sometimes the naked Christian looks like that Christian who goes to church. Sometimes the naked Christian looks like that Christian who only prays. A naked Christian can look like a prayer warrior, can look like a worship leader, can look like an apostle, can look like a pastor, can look like an evangelist, because they are half clothed, half naked. Put it all on. You cannot only have the helmet of salvation and think it is enough. You have the helmet of salvation, but where is the breastplate of righteousness? Yes, you have the breastplate of righteousness, but where is the belt of truth? Yes, you have the belt of truth on, but where are the shoes of the gospel of peace? Yes, you have the shoes on, but where is your shield of faith? Yes, you have the shield of faith on, but where is the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God? So if all you got is a shield, you will be defeated. If all you got is the word, you will be defeated. Because just having the word and just uttering the word, speaking for the word, being a prayer warrior is not enough. You are a prayer warrior, but where are your shoes? Yes, you are praying. Yes, you are in the word. Yes, you are speaking for the word, but where is the helmet of salvation? Yes, you got a helmet of salvation, but where is the breastplate of righteousness? Yes, you are living a holy life, but you are not praying. Yes, you are praising all day long, but your character is still nasty. You have a nasty character, so irrespective of how much you pray, there is still a problem. You're still living in a delusion, and that is where the enemy wants Christians. That is where he wants the children of God, the people of God, to live in a state of delusion where they think that it is enough to pray, where they think that it is enough to only worship, where they think that it is enough to live a holy life. Yes, we've been called to live a holy life, but you got to put it all on. The whole armor of God, not some of the armor of God. It is time for the believer to arise and stop walking in nakedness. You're walking in nakedness without even realizing it. You're walking in half truth. You only got a skirt on. You have no top on. Some only got a top on. They have no skirt. They have no pants on. You are naked. You live in the naked Christian life, and that opens you up to attacks. And the enemy is going to hit you, and you will not even know how that happened. But the instruction is very clear. He says, put it all on, the whole armor of God. Not 50% of the armor, not 70% of the armor, not 20% of the armor. Sometimes the naked Christian looks like that guy who is living that holy life, living that nice life, that guy who is living sanctimoniously and living righteously. The naked Christian sometimes looks like that person who is very faithful in church and serving in church. But listen, your faithfulness does not equate to faith. You can be very, very faithful in your service, but where is your faith? Where is your shield of faith? It is time for you to be fully clothed, because it is a dangerous thing for the Christian to be half clothed. It is a dangerous thing for the Christian to be naked. Today it is my prayer that you come out of that nakedness and put on the whole armor, not some of the armor, the full armor. And that is when you're going to see the glory of God at work in your life. That is when you are able to walk in power. That is when you are able to walk in His glory. That is when you are able to bring the enemy down. That is when you become more than a conqueror. That is when you are able to tread upon the serpents and upon the scorpions. That is when you are able to exhibit the power of God. Don't put on some of the armor. Put on the whole armor. Don't put on 75% of the armor. Put on 100% of the armor. Everything got to be on. The helmet of salvation should be on. The breastplate of righteousness should be on. The belt of truth should be on. Yes, you should have the shoes on. It should be on. The shoes of the gospel of peace. You should have it on. You should have your sword of the Spirit. And you should have your shield of faith. Everything should be on. And you are going to see the glory of God in your life. And today I pray for you. I prophesy into your life that from henceforth you will no longer walk as a naked Christian, but you are going to walk as a Christian who is fully armed, because you are a soldier in the army of the Lord. You've not been called to live a life full of defeats. The reason why you live in that life is because you are not fully clothed. Is that you are half dressed. It's because you are praising God, but you are not praying. It is because you are praying and praising God, but you're not living a holy life. It means you are praying, praising God, going to church, living a holy life. However, you are not walking in wisdom. You are half naked. It is time to come out of nakedness and to be fully armed, and you will see the glory of God in your life. Thank you so much for connecting. This is Pastor Ike here, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Please go on, continue to follow me right here on Facebook. Share this message so that somebody who is also living in a delusion of only walking in praise, only walking in worship, only going to church, living in the delusion of only praying, living in the delusion of living only a holy life, will come to understand that you need it all. Put on the whole armor of God and not some of the armor of God. God richly bless you. I love you. Bye-bye.